We have T3's Chief Innovation Officer, Ben Gaddis, to talk about which tech companies are a must to partner with in 2015. Ben champions innovation throughout the agency, working with internal and external teams to envision, develop, and incubate breakthrough technology for clients via T3's Innovation Labs. He has helped craft innovation strategies for clients including 7-Eleven, UPS, Coca-Cola, Allstate, Microsoft, and JP Morgan Chase. In addition to creating the innovation group at T3, he has also helped to launch T3 Labs and T3 Ventures, the early stage venture arm of T3. Welcome, Ben.
Hey guys, welcome to Austin. We're glad to have you as an Austinite. We just got done with South by, so you guys invaded our city about a week after 40,000 people did. So we're glad to have you here. I don't know if you know, there's actually a law in Austin that says you're required to have a 15-minute presentation by some guy in skinny jeans and a beard talking about technology. So you can check that off your list. I'm Ben Gaddis. I lead the innovation group at T3. And I'll tell you a little bit about T3 and then talk about some of the companies that we're partnering with right now that we think are important. T3, we're an independent agency, 26 years old. Who here is an independent agency? Raise your hands. All right, awesome. So we started just right down the road 26 years ago. This lovely young lady right here is Gaddis, a feisty woman who started the business. And we've expanded a little bit since then. We opened an office in New York and San Francisco about 10 years ago, about 200 people. And typically, we're going to be digital agency of record, digital innovation agency of record for companies like 7-Eleven. We do a lot of work with Allstate and Staples. And most recently, we're just named the #5 innovation agency globally by Forrester, which is pretty cool because at about 200 people, I think we're the smallest group up there. I think the next smallest group is about 3,000 people. So that's great. Why am I up here talking to you about T3 and about partnership? When we started the innovation group at T3, one of the things that we figured out is we were doing a lot of product development, we were doing a lot of service development, but we very quickly realized that there was a lot going on outside the walls of T3 that we couldn't replicate, and we had to find a systematic way to bring that thinking and outside perspective into the agency. So we did a couple of things. The first thing we did is we actually created a venture group. Nancy talked a little bit about that. We've got a portfolio of about 12 companies that we make early stage investments in, and the goal there is just to get in early as a partner as these companies build out their technology and their platforms so that we know it from the ground up. So we've got the venture arm. We also built a labs group, which is focused on identifying new technologies and building an expertise, but also identifying who are the right partners in the space. Because we can't build everything, we've got to find ways to partner with some of these innovative technology companies that exist in all the cities that we're involved in. So that kind of leads us to some partners. I probably spend 50% of my time evaluating new technology companies, and a big part of my role is to partner our clients with the right technology companies in the space that match with what they're trying to do from a brand perspective. And so what I thought I'd do is I'd take you through 5 of them. It'll be pretty short and sweet. One of them you definitely know, but you may think of a little bit differently after this presentation. One of them you may know, but they're pretty new. And 3 of them I'm hoping you've never heard of so that I actually deliver at least a little bit of value during this 15 minutes. So I'll go through those and I'll just jump into it. The first one is DJI. Who here has heard of DJI? Anybody know? Okay, good. So DJI, these guys are actually revolutionizing the drone space. Chinese company, they've got an office in LA, and we say they're democratizing the world of drones. So this is the Phantom. Phantom, one of the first sub $1,000 drones of any real value. Pretty powerful tool for aerial photography. They just released the new Inspire 1, which is a 4K camera, 30 frames per second, all under $4,000. This is one of the most advanced cameras that you can get, and it literally flies itself. And what we love about DJI is they're building a company based off of an open infrastructure so that developers and partners can actually create programs, use their APIs to build services on top of the drones that they power. So this is that Inspire I just showed you. You can literally just draw a map or a path of which you want it to fly, send it off, and it flies the entire thing, films everything for you, comes back and lands in your driveway. You don't have to do anything. So it's kind of changing the way that photographers and videographers use cameras and the shots that they're able to get. But DJI is really looking for partnerships that go beyond traditional photographers and videographers. So they're opening their platform to developers, to agencies, to brands, and this is the year that they really think they're going to explode. So this is the partnership that they actually did with, I'll go back to that. This is a partnership that they did with Panasonic, but also with ESPN around the Winter X Games, where they live streamed some of the aerials, some of the tricks that were going on off of the ski jumps. And viewers on the web, viewers on mobile devices, on tablets, could actually get an entirely different perspective of the Winter X Games all through one of the DJI drones. And so what they're doing is they're actually allowing marketers and brands to create new applications. They just launched a developer contest. One of the coolest things I saw, a set of students in China created a service on top of DJI's drones that fire departments and police departments can use. Anytime there's an accident on Waze, the platform actually detects that. A police drone will fly out to that specific accident site and immediately begin live streaming exactly what's happening so the police know what they're getting into when they arrive on site. So that's DJI. What are the opportunities, though? So if you're doing any kind of video production right now, you got to get one of these things. Just the different kind of shots that we've been able to get are pretty amazing. You got to watch out for the FAA. If you're charging for this stuff, they're a little bit dicey there on the rules, but make sure you follow them. They're looking for branded partnerships. If you have a lifestyle brand, if you have a venue, a sports brand, you got to be talking to these guys. They're the ones to do. And also, we believe that a lot of services companies will be built with drones at the core in the next 3 to 5 years. So you've got to be thinking about that, and you've got to understand who you can partner with in the space. DJI is a great partner to do that. Second company I want to talk about is a company called Meridian. And these guys power indoor wayfinding. They were bought by Aruba Networks, who just got gobbled up by HP. So now they've got this huge war chest, and they're really revolutionizing the way that people move around big event spaces like the Hilton. So they power that blue dot that you're used to on Google Maps outside. They make that possible inside. So you can find this room through a mobile application or a mobile website. They've got a platform that actually powers the experiences that you can build around things like beacons and Wi-Fi navigating. Very cool project that they just launched is the Levi Stadium in San Francisco where the 49ers play. They put 1,100 beacons throughout the stadium. So now when you walk in, you can actually use the mobile app to direct you exactly to your seat. So you don't have to ask an usher. You can order a hot dog to that seat. You can even see the bathroom line and wait times at the nearest restroom to your section. They power Home Depot. I don't know if you've been to Home Depot and tried to find a power drill recently. It's on aisle 276 down on the far right. They power the indoor wayfinding that helps you go and find that drill. So some really cool opportunities with Meridian. They have an open SDK. You can go on the site, download it immediately. You can be playing with it. Your teams can be playing with it this afternoon. And you start to understand how powerful this platform is and what it can actually do. If you have a retail partner or a venue partner, did some research, and it says that by about 2017, if you have over 5,000 feet of retail space, people will expect a baseline expectation that you give them some type of indoor wayfinding navigation. So you only got 2 years, so you better get on that pretty quickly. These are the guys who can probably help you get started. And then the last part is building proof of concepts. So it's really easy to spin up and build proof of concepts at little to no cost that you can take to your clients. We've got some ways that you can kind of move through our office and navigate through conference rooms and stuff like that. So Meridian, very cool partner. Third one is Google. You guys probably haven't heard of this company, very small company out of California. They've bought a couple of other businesses over the past few years. Everybody knows Google for search. They're actually, we don't think of them as a search company. We think of them as a data company. If you look at all of the different platforms they have, this is just, these are the only ones I could get on the slide. This slide could be massive. But what we think is very interesting about where Google is headed is how they're using things like Dropcam and Nest and combining them with Google Maps and some of the things they're doing with Glass and Google Drive. They're connecting these platforms together in ways that they haven't been able to in the past. And they're opening up APIs to brands, to marketers, to agencies to power experiences that are very, very interesting. I'll show you one we did with Allstate in partnership with Google, where instead of giving someone a generic quote, I don't know if you've got a home insurance quote recently, but you really just get a quote that says, home insurance for your home is $1,100. It doesn't tell you why or what goes into that quote. So we partnered with Google using Google Maps and about 8 different APIs. So now you go to Good Home, the site, it detects your address, you hit go, it immediately flies down to the street view of your home. It looks at the number of bedrooms and bathrooms that you have. It tells you how many square footage, what kind of square footage you have, the price of your home, when it was built. It'll tell you the most common and costly claims in your neighborhood. So if $7,000 is the average claim for water damage, it will pull in all the weather around you. So if you're in a floodplain or if you're in Boston and you're getting 10 feet of snow, you might need some flood insurance when that all starts to thaw out. We wrap that all together and give you one holistic view of your home. And instead of saying it costs $1,100 a year, we say it costs $1,100 a year because this is the exact policy that you need. People who go through this experience are 378% more likely to get a quote from Allstate than those that don't. We just partnered with Google. They wrote this up as one of their leading case studies on most innovative uses of Google technology. Just a way to pull all together the APIs and the data that Google has in a really unique way. So don't think of them as a search company. Think about them as a data company. But the only way that we've found that this is possible, and Google gets knocked for this sometimes, is you got to spend $5 million for them to pick up the phone. It's actually not true. If you find a rep and you have some innovative ideas, there are people within Google who will help you navigate and find different partnerships across the group. The most important thing that we found is they'll tell you what's coming out next, what APIs and what kind of data is going to be available so that you can start to plan for it and start to create experiences around that data, much like we did for Allstate. So the fourth company is a company called InfoScout. Has anybody heard of InfoScout? Okay, one. Chip, that's great, I appreciate it. InfoScout is, these guys do some, they power real-time insights, but I think that tagline probably doesn't go far enough. If you're a CPG brand or a retailer, the type of insights they power are it's pretty outstanding. They've got a set of mobile applications, and they incentivize people to scan their grocery receipts or their retail receipts every time they go to a grocery store or convenience store. They take all that data, they scrape it, they pull it together, they analyze it, and they put it into this platform. And so you go to InfoScout, and this is free, by the way, right now. So you go to InfoScout, you type in Red Bull. All of this data pops up. But the things that are so amazing is not only is it going to tell you, the demographics, how much money, household income, whether someone went to college who bought Red Bull. It'll also tell you things like what was in the basket that somebody had who bought Red Bull. So if you bought Red Bull, you may buy also Doritos and some cigs. Okay, no judgment there, but it's probably going to be a stock up, not a stock up trip, but an urgent need trip. They'll tell you where you purchased that. Was it at a food club? Was it at a convenience store? But then they go a little bit further and they start to ask questions about that purchase. Did you buy this as a planned purchase or as an impulse purchase? 38% bought it as an impulse purchase. What would have happened if they didn't have that item? Would you have gone to another store? 25% of people would. Or would you have just purchased another brand? 41% of people would have done that. So pretty powerful. This is all free. I mean, all you do is just type in Red Bull. So go on InfoScout, check it out, leverage it. We use it all the time for new business, for research, just to get some directional data. But as a partner, and part of that is paid, if you identify the data that you're looking for as a CPG or a retailer, they'll go out and they'll find it for you. And they'll actually ask and build some of those questions around the platform in really unique ways. So you can actually build custom models and ask different questions. So that's the fourth one. And then the last one, which is my favorite, I'm a little bit biased, Atlas Wearables. So Atlas is a T3 venture company, which Atlas is right here. It's a Fitbit on steroids. So Atlas learns every movement you do in the gym, and records it without you having to do anything. We launched Atlas about a year ago on Indiegogo, and we raised about $635,000 in 30 days. Since then, we've raised $2.2 million to bring Atlas to life, and it ships next month. And what Atlas does is it actually takes every movement that you make in the gym. So maybe you're doing a bicep curl, and it can actually tell the difference between a simultaneous bicep curl and a single arm bicep curl. It can tell how much weight you're lifting, and it records it all without you having to do anything. It can tell the difference between a push-up and a triangle push-up. It can actually measure and record things that are not standard movements, like a tire flip. If you do something 3 times in a row, the Atlas records that motion, stores it in the database, and at that point, all you have to do is do the motion, and it knows exactly what you're doing. So Atlas, very cool product. You guys should go out and buy one when it comes out. But what we're most excited about is the Motion Genome Project, and that's what's powering Atlas. And that is analyzing and recording routine movements like push-ups and squats and sit-ups, but also things that we do on a day-to-day basis. Like if you drive your car and you make this motion over and over, we know you're driving your car. If you flip on a light switch or if you drink a Coke, you do that over and over, we can actually monitor that and determine what you're doing. So what Atlas is now doing is opening this up to partners. So the Motion Genome Project is an opportunity. We're looking for partners, so brands, agencies, anybody, technology companies who want to understand what their users are doing, be able to chart that motion. We'll then open up an API so that you guys have access to that data. And you can start to understand what are your customers doing when they're interacting with your brand. So you can build some really interesting experiences. And the experience that we built at South by, Hugh talked about some of the cool stuff at South by. We actually wanted to see if we could build something that was tailored for South by based off this platform. So we used something that we found that if you actually get heart rate, not only can you understand whether somebody's moving, you can actually understand their emotions. Different emotions have different heart patterns. So if you're angry, it looks like that. If you're sad, it looks like that. So we thought at South by, could we take some wearables like Atlas and maybe some Android Wear products and create a platform that was very utilitarian for the people who were here? And we looked at what is the major platform that people at South by were using, and it was Tinder. So anybody here on Tinder? You don't have to raise your hand. We realized that on Tinder, people actually, they'll look at this picture of this young lady, and they may immediately swipe left or right, but actually most people pause for about 20 or 30 seconds, and they start to analyze the picture a little bit more. They look at what she's wearing, they look at what's in the background, maybe her age and her hobbies, and they don't react immediately, but their emotions and their body actually does. Their heart rate might spike a little bit. They might start to have some physical reactions. So we thought, what if we actually powered the world's first hands-free Tinder? So we hooked a bunch of people up to some Atlases and some other wearables, and we just had them look at Tinder, and immediately we determined what their heart rate and emotion said, and if it went up, boom, we swiped right for you. If it didn't, we swiped left, and we made a match. So that's one of the ways that you can use this biometric data to create some pretty amazing experiences. So those are the 5 companies. They're all in partnership mode right now. They're looking for partnerships. If you come see me afterwards, give me a business card. I'll send you all the contact information of people who you'd need to make contact there. Glad you guys came to Austin, and thank you very much.